Since President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has taken office, he was keen to prove that Egypt is open to the world. The main feature of Egypt's diplomacy is openness to all countries, benefiting from all experiences, building partnerships and bridges of cooperation with all countries all over the world that have common interests with Egypt. In this context, President el-Sisi met with French Minister of Foreign Affairs Catherine Colonna in the presence of Minister of Foreign Affairs Sameh Shoukry. The spokesman for the presidency said the meeting tackled the continuous development of the distinct relations between Egypt and France, whether at the official level between the two leaderships or at the popular level. Both sides confirmed mutual keenness to continue strengthening bilateral cooperation frameworks across various fields and supporting joint efforts to achieve development and prosperity and combat terrorism and illegal immigration. This is in addition to continuous political coordination. The French foreign minister expressed appreciation for the balanced and wise approach of the Egyptian foreign policy in working to resolve crises and establish stability and peace in the region. For his part, President el-Sisi stressed on the importance Egypt attaches to strengthening cooperation with France. The meeting touched on regional issues of common interest, mainly developments in the Palestinian issue, as well as efforts to resolve the crises in a number of countries in the region, especially in Sudan and Libya, in addition to the situation in the Sahel region. The President affirmed that Egypt will continue to exert utmost efforts to reach political and peaceful solutions to the existing crises, and therefore contribute to restoring regional security and stability and preserving the capabilities of the people and their aspirations for a better future. On the African level, President el-Sisi met with Speaker of Equatorial Guinea's Senate, Teresa Ifua Asagono. Spokesman of the presidency, Councillor Ahmed Fahmy, said President el-Sisi asked for his greetings to be conveyed to President Teodoro Obiang, highlighting the distinguished relations between Egypt and Equatorial Guinea and noting the keenness to enhance cooperation between the two countries across various fields. Speaker of Equatorial Guinea's Senate delivered a letter to the President from President Obiang in which he expressed deep appreciation for Egypt and the Egyptian leadership, valued continuous progress in the course of relations between the two countries, and looked forward to strengthening bilateral relations at various levels. The meeting touched on ways to strengthen bilateral relations, especially at the parliamentary level, in addition to enhancing Egyptian investments in Equatorial Guinea, improving trade rates between the two countries, and supporting development and the capacity building in Equatorial Guinea in various sectors.
Right, welcome back. And to highlight the issue we have with us over the phone, Dr. Noha Bakr, Professor of Political Science. Good evening to you, Dr. Noha.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you.
The pleasure is always ours, Dr. Noha. And we're speaking here about the foreign policy of Egypt. And we've seen the visit of today of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to the United Arab Emirates and receiving the French Foreign Minister as well as the Equatorial Guinea state or the Senate member. And definitely these are not the only visits that the President has received or has been to, particularly after two important issues, the BRICS and the G20 summit the President has been attending.
I totally agree with you, Mona. Well, we have a very active foreign policy. Egypt's foreign policy has a clear strategy where it has ties with the North and South cooperation. As you said, there has been different visits recently and also since 2014. The foreign world has been interested in Egypt, has been aware of the role of Egypt in stabilizing the region, but also in addition to the political diplomatic relations, there is also the security relations. Egypt experience in combating terrorism and sharing the knowledge and sharing an active role in combating terrorism in the region. Egypt's role in stabilizing the region, as you know for sure, the situation in Libya, Sudan, Palestine, the situation what Syria has been going through. Egypt has been playing an active role in stabilizing the region, in addition to our visits and our relations with African countries, with Asia, let alone all Europe and the United States. All this makes Egypt aware of being the importance of these countries to Egypt, and these countries aware of the importance of Egypt to them.
Dr. Noha, when we speak about the importance of Egypt here, we have to speak about the location of Egypt geographically, and we also have to speak about how does that contribute to Egypt's responsibility and constant foreign policy towards regional and international issues. And Egypt has constants and basic policies in dealing with different files, particularly towards issues of the Middle East and Africa. How do we describe these constants of Egypt?
Well, actually, we have a very specific, clear strategy when it comes to the Egyptian foreign policy. First, full respect of the international legitimacy, international law, full awareness of the need not to interfere in other states' affairs, and also the importance of the unity of states. Egypt is very much against the fragmentation of states and interfering in other states' affairs. In addition to the fact that we have economic diplomacy, the fact that Egypt is a market of 105 million people, this makes it an attractive market and attractive venue for foreign investment. We're also keen in Egypt on attracting foreign investments, and that's why you see that whenever the president is traveling, he is always accompanying with him those who are responsible from the executive system for the economic file. There are, in addition to the geographic strategic position of Egypt, as you mentioned, but also now the natural gas is an important fact that plays a role in Egypt's relation with certain European countries, and Egypt's ability to supply Europe with liquid natural gas. All this, Egypt is keen on win-win relations with everyone, is keen on learning from with everyone. We're keen on economic groups, like we've just been involved with the Brexit. We also have an environmental foreign policy. We had COP27. I'm very happy I've met you there covering COP27. We're keen on having a better environment. There are certain key issues to Europe in addition to the stabilization of our region, but also illegal immigration. Egypt has been helping in this fight. So we're keen on win-win relation with all our regional neighbors, with Europe, with the United States, and with Africa, with Asia. All this in order to have a better world and a peaceful world.
You just pinpointed your finger on something very important while you're speaking the gas and its relations with Europe. And within this, or from this perspective, we have seen an important visit by the French foreign minister during the past few days, and it has certain significance. How do you view Egypt's rapprochement towards all countries at all on all spheres?
Well, actually, if we go specifically to the French-Egyptian relations, it's historical political relations, and economic relations. We're talking about French exports that amount approximately 2 billion to Egypt, while Egypt exports to France are estimated by 800 million. We're talking about France as being the second largest wheat supplier to Egypt, and this is very important to our food security. France it has exported approximately 1.2 million tons of wheat to Egypt in 2022. And this have fulfilled the gap of Egypt's needs of wheat after the Ukrainian-Russian war. Also, we're talking about French investments that totals up to 5.5 billion across various sectors like transportation, water treatment, energy, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, commercial products, among others. Also, Egypt and France share the Mediterranean and are keen on the environmental aspects in the Mediterranean and how to benefit from the Mediterranean. One of the things of benefiting from the Mediterranean is Egypt exploring natural gas. We've found natural gas in Egypt that was, and we have the facilities to liquidate this gas and transfer it to Europe. This has helped Europe also to get over their difficulties in their need of fuel after the Ukrainian-Russian war. So simply, as we mentioned, it's a win-win. We need from Europe, Europe needs from us, and we're keen on having economic, political ties, security ties. We work with all France as well as other European countries on combating terrorism and human trafficking.
Dr. Noha, France is a very strong European country, and it has its own weight in the European Union. From your point of view, how important is the Egyptian-French relations in terms of how does that reflect on regional issues and coordinating stances towards some of the important crises the region and the continent are passing by?
Let me add also that to you, Yamuna, that France is also one of the 5 permanent veto holders in the Security Council, 5 members. So simply, it's always important to discuss and negotiate and share views. France is very keen on listening to Egypt when it comes to combating terrorism, with Egypt's long experience and ability to get over such a threat. Also, there is lots of security issues when it comes to the Mediterranean. We are on the north of the Mediterranean, we are on the south of the Mediterranean. The security of the Suez Canal and the commercial security, the commercial route securities, all this is important to France as well as to Egypt. Since 2014, there are more than 20 high official ranking visits between France and Egypt, whether in France or in Egypt. We've seen President Macron coming more than once. We've seen our president visiting France more than once, let alone the meetings on the side of the multilateral meetings like in the UN General Assembly meeting, among others. All this simply is very important because Egypt has its role in allowing the area to be, or the region to be stable. Also, Egypt's role in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and how Egypt has been able to maintain truce between Hamas and Israel for more than once, and how this has been acknowledged by the world in how this helps the region to stabilize. That's why the 2 presidents and on high officials level, they meet and they share the views about certain, whether political or economic or fuel security or food security topics. There is a political will to cooperate and to help to have a better world between France and Egypt.
Finally here, and I only have 2 minutes. Dr. Noha, we are in the mid of a very critical stage. The whole region and the whole continent are faced by enormous challenges, and the crises are enormous. What does this next stage need from Egypt Middle East and the African states?
Actually, what's needed is wisdom, is rulers who are wise, who are keen on having stability and peace. It's very easy to have the drums of wars beating here and there, but it is those who have wisdom, who have an experience, a diplomatic long experience, like the Egyptians, who have good ties and relations and are trustworthy. These are the countries that are able to make a difference, and Egypt is one of them.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, Dr. Noha Bakr, Professor of Political Science, we thank you so much for being with us. A pleasure always having you, and I guess that takes us to the end of this episode. Our hopes would be our ability altogether, or as the president there in the United Arab Emirates, our hopes goes that the whole region would unite for the welfare of nations, the Arab and the African nations at large. Many thanks for watching.